Hi everyone, Josh Guest here. Many people in developed countries and elsewhere rely heavily on financial services in today's world. Banks custody our money, credit card companies facilitate our transactions, brokerage companies manage our retirement accounts. It's safe to say that a lot of us depend so much on traditional finance that we'd be lost, at least for a while, if we couldn't access our financial accounts. Don't believe me? Ask yourself, are you fully prepared to be able to buy food if your credit card is denied, pay your mortgage if your bank account closes down, or afford your daily life if access to your retirement funds is cut off? For a lot of us, the answer to that question is probably that we're much less prepared than we ideally need to be. There are likely many people, perhaps even some of you, who are convinced that the financial system will always be available to them. After all, it's our money flowing through the system, and financial companies can't exist without their customers, right? Be careful, because the truth might frighten you. Truth be told, there are plenty of people around the world who are unbanked and don't have access to financial services to begin with. There are also large numbers of people who live under authoritarian regimes who get kicked out of their local financial system without most people batting an eye. For those of us who don't have to experience those same limitations, it can seem easy to write off the suffering of others. Our complacency must continue no longer, and no one is truly safe from the long arm of financial censorship. We have a number of examples just this year of governments in so-called democratic parts of the world who have used extreme levels of financial censorship in order to grossly limit their citizens' freedoms. One example came to us courtesy of the Canadian government, which earlier this year locked a number of citizens out of the financial system for protesting COVID-19 vaccine mandates or for showing support to the protesters. Another example came to us just last week in the country of Brazil, where the federal Supreme Court froze the bank accounts of several dozen people and companies who are claiming fraud occurred in the country's recent presidential election. The government officials who spearhead the financial censorship of their own citizens most likely believed that the course of action they chose was acceptable. It could be as well that many observers would agree that these and other examples of financial censorship were necessary. Whether you agree or not, the idea that someone's financial security can be outright stolen from them on a whim is destructive for society. If people's futures can be stolen from them from one second to the next, people largely stop planning for the future at all. Our ability to plan for a safe and censorship-free future can happen with Bitcoin, and as we've learned above, really nowhere else. You've heard me say it plenty throughout this newsletter, but I'll say it again. Bitcoin is the only truly decentralized money in the world. Every other money has someone at the center manipulating it to the detriment of everyone else, but not Bitcoin. Every other money has someone who can force participants they don't agree with out of the system, but not Bitcoin. True financial freedom exists thanks to Bitcoin, at least for those who choose to own their financial future through self-custody. The day is fast approaching where even the limited access to the traditional financial system that so many of us currently enjoy will be taken away. Do you intend to stick around long enough for that to happen?